Hi everyone and welcome to Alice Bone Yoga. I'm Alice and it's so awesome to have you here. Today we're going to be focusing on yoga specifically for helping relieve IBS flare-ups and ease any sort of indigestion and bloating. So hop into something comfy, you can stay in your socks, grab a blanket and let's get going. Okay, so we're going to start today's practice laying down. So if you've got your blanket, we're going to use this as a little bit of support. We're going to use it for a supportive bridge. So you can kind of fold your blanket up. You're welcome to roll it up if you want to. And then start to work your way down onto your back. And once you're there, just keep the knees bent, feet as wide as the mat. And then lift your pelvis up and just slide that blanket or cushion underneath you, under the pelvis. Make sure it's in a comfortable place where you can kind of be for a long period of time. And maybe the knees kind of roll in and they can knock together and support each other, so you don't have to grip in the hips to keep the legs in place. And then arms by the sides, palms face up, and just take a moment, close the eyes and get super weighted and heavy into the earth. Just noticing how it feels to be flat to the ground, really grounded and held and supported. Knowing you're safe and you can relax. And just start to become aware of your physical body, the physical shape that you are taking up in space. So just scan your awareness down from the crown of the head to the tips of the toes. Almost like you're going through like a CAT scan. You're just highlighting all the different parts of the body in your mind, printing it out in your mind. So you're super aware of your edges and your physical container. Once you're aware of your physical body, full physical body, and the shape that you're taking up in space, start to expand your breath into that body. So almost thinking like as you breathe in, the breath is expanding and touches the edges, expanding your full shape. And then exhale, it just draws all the way back in into the center. And let's treat our center today as our navel, so our belly button. So kind of like a balloon blowing up on your inhale, the whole body feels like it's expanding from the inside. And then exhale, everything's recoiling back in to the belly button. So we're centering our whole practice today around the belly, around our digestive tract, our intestines, our diaphragm as well. All those soft organs. And just bringing a little bit of movement, a little bit of massage, a little bit of blood flow into this space. Maybe noticing any physical sensations as you just breathe like this naturally. Already I'm starting to feel a few bubbles and gargles of my belly in a good way. I struggle with IBS quite bad. And sometimes just taking 5 minutes in your day to just digest your food can make all the difference. Our digestive system is so directly linked to our nervous system and our stresses and our stress responses. They call it the gut-brain axis. So your brain and your gut are directly linked through the nervous system. And so when we're stressed and we don't give ourselves time to just ground or feel centered throughout the day, no wonder that there's moments in the day that you feel discomfort. You can't digest food, you're getting indigestion, you're having an IBS flare-up. It's all directly linked, and it's vice versa as well. So you'll notice if you eat foods that maybe don't agree with you, how that makes you feel physically and mentally, how that affects your whole energy and your emotions and your ability to just show up in life. Start to become aware of your diaphragm. So you can bring your hands to the belly and find the diaphragm. It's just underneath the ribs. So it's like that squishy part just below the ribs. Rest the hands there and just feeling that movement now into the palms. The breath expanding and contracting. And the diaphragm is so important. It's our biggest respiratory muscle. It can facilitate 75% of our breath. It's a big, strong muscle that allows us to breathe to our fullest potential, to nourish our body with all that yummy oxygen that we need in order to function. And just visualize the shape of your diaphragm. So in a relaxed shape, in its relaxed space, it just nests underneath the lungs, under the heart, in like a dome shape, like in a little mushroom shape. And as you inhale, what the diaphragm does, the diaphragm initiates your breath, and the diaphragm is spreading down towards the belly button and spreading out into the edges of your body. It's kind of spreads out like a serving plate. And what that does is it causes like a vacuum in the lungs, which causes them to have to bring in air to fill that vacuum. And then as you exhale, the diaphragm relaxes and it pushes out all the air through the nostrils. So you've got that movement down and up, but also out and in. So spreading, but also drawing down, and then relaxing and nesting up. So just visualize that movement. And if you think about it, the diaphragm is creating almost like a little internal massage. As it's moving, it's spreading and squishing and wringing into the lower organs, the soft organs, bringing in blood flow, encouraging digestion. Just take 3 more breaths. Just awareness of that breath, maybe starting to elongate the inhale and the exhale slightly. And then when you're ready, you can just draw the knees apart. Maybe feel free to have a little window wipe of the legs here. I always find it feels quite nice actually being on the cushion. You can kind of really get a nice stretch and opening into the pelvis. And then starting to work your way off of your blanket. Bring the lower back to the floor, maybe continue those little window wipes of the shins. Start to center up and then just slowly start to bring the knees into the chest. Have a little squeeze and a rounding into the lower back. We've just added a lot of length there. and a lot of space into the back of our pelvis. So now you can just kind of reverse it. And let's keep the right knee in, hook the hand round the shin or underneath the knee and extend the left leg away. You keep the left leg active and keep the right knee nice and tight into the belly. And just start to draw out some circles, maybe a little massage of the thigh into the belly. You can always take some breaths here to kind of feel the belly expanding into the thigh. And you get that extra little massage. You can go in like clockwise directions with the knee. If you think about it, the digestive system goes from right up and then down the left. So it kind of works in those motions. So we just kind of want to encourage it in that direction. Maybe you found a space that feels really nice, whether it's in stillness or you're just enjoying just moving around. And then when you're ready, just take it into a twist. So you can take your blanket with you, you can pop it over to the side. And we're going to take our right knee across us, stretch the right arm away from us and just take a gentle twist. Let that right knee just land and pin the right shoulder blade down. Good, reach the right fingertips and the right knee as far away from each other as possible. So you're really getting a stretch of the skin across the torso. Feeling that wringing out sensation. Finding some breath. And if it feels nice to, feel free to kind of draw like half snow angels with the right arm. You can just draw it up and down, just creating more length, more space. Just pause here. Taking 3 more breaths. Breathing deep into the diaphragm. And then come all the way back through the middle. You're going to hook the hands around the shin one more time. Just have one last gentle squeeze. And then take the other side. Send the right leg down. Draw the left knee in. Have a nice gentle hug. Extend through the right leg. And gentle rolls of the left knee. And you can take it clockwise if you want to be super specific, super nerdy about it. But you can kind of go whichever way. That's why we always tend to do right then left a lot of the time in yoga as well, because it's just generally the way that our systems travel in. So we don't want to go against the grain, we're going with the grain. So right to left always. You might have found a spot that you're enjoying, whether that's in stillness or you're keeping moving. Maybe you found some breath and you're really enjoying that pressure of the belly into the top of the thigh. And when you're ready, take it into a twist. Again, take your blanket or cushion or any support with you over towards the right side. Twist your knee over towards the right. Reach the left fingertips over to the left and really try to find that length, fingertips to knee, knee to fingertips. So really reach them apart from each other. If it feels nice, you can take a few like snow angels of the arm, just to create more stretch and length through that twist. And I want you to really target your breath here. So we're twisting and smushing and squishing all the organs up in this space. And then if you think about the diaphragm as then expanding down, spreading and pressing into them, it's just pummeling and encouraging lots of blood flow and lots of movement. And that's what we want. We want movement. We want the digestive system to get working. We're like, hey, come on, hurry up. This is painful, this is uncomfortable. Help me flush this out, or get things moving, or help me digest it. 2 more breaths. Last one. And then come all the way back through the center. Bring the left knee into the chest just one more time. Have a gentle squeeze, maybe open it out to the side. Anything that feels nice. And then bring both legs into the chest, hug them in. Take a moment, maybe the knees start to spread wide. And you might even want to take it into a happy baby. So you can grab the ankles or the outside edges of the feet. And let the belly really spread here as you breathe. So relax into it. We don't need to hold it in. We can just let it out. If it also feels nice to actually literally let it out, if you want to like pull your trousers down slightly and just let the belly really hang out, get that full muffin top going. You do you. I sometimes do that. So it feels nice sometimes, especially as women, we feel this constant pressure to kind of feel really like sucked in and tucked in and make sure everything's nice and flat and like really squeezed in. But actually what we need is to be able to let everything out every once in a while. Give ourselves some space. Just take it up and breathe into it. And then when you're ready, you can just bring the hands to the backs of the knees, maybe take a couple little rocks and rolls up and down the spine. I'm feeling the water that I drank just before filming this. It's like sloshing about. Always fun, but it's nice to feel kind of some movement going on, right? Nice, and then come all the way up. Let's swing the legs round, and we're gonna come into a child's pose just for a moment. And you can take your blanket, we're just going to have it here ready, and roll it up out in front of you. So you're creating like a little burrito, like a little sausage. And just take a moment. We'll take a wide leg child's pose to start. Oh, I'm clicky. Sit back to the heels and slowly stretch the body forward. And if you want to, you can actually stretch the blanket forward to start and have the hands on here. So find some length here. Reach the blanket forward, bring the forehead to the floor and create a little bit of movement here. And again, like in our happy baby, I really want you to think about letting the belly out. So if you want to, if you can, or if your clothes are quite tight, maybe you can even see all those rolls and the belly really like puffing out and just giving into the weight of gravity. And take a big breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the mouth. Big breath in, feel the belly fill up. Big breath out. Last one. Nice. Start to take it through a few cat-cows. We're going to press into the hands. You can keep the hands actually on the blanket if you feel like you're not going to roll away. Take an inhale, roll through your spine, round everything up into like a little cat pose. And then once you meet the top, you can flick the tailbone back behind you, let everything go and fall back. Just take a couple of these, roll it forward. And flex it back. Really target the core. Can you integrate it? Can you switch it on slightly as you round? And then feel that nice opening in the superficial muscles at the front, the fascia. Let's take 2 more. Finding these nice cat-cow waves through the spine, finding some fluidity into the pelvis and just sloshing everything forward and everything back. So nice. Start to slide the blanket up towards you slightly, like back towards you. We want it like kind of halfway down the mat, because we're going to come forward, take the hands forward, and we're going to come onto our blanket, and we want the blanket to be underneath our belly. So you can find that space and find the space that's good for you. So for me, I get quite a lot of tension and tightness in my lower belly. So I really like it there. But if you want it a little bit higher, it's a really personal preference. Just make sure your lower back feels okay, because we're going to do a few back bends. You can take a moment here, pop anything underneath your head. You can grab a cushion or a block. Or you can even just take your hands. Have a little moment just to wiggle. See how that feels. Like sometimes that direct pressure, that little massage into something can feel super nice. You might find a spot and pause in it. Maybe you feel some blood pumping. The heart is beating. That's good. You can feel things going on. We're breaking up any tension that's built up in that space. You can always treat your digestive system or like any sort of bloating. I like to treat it like if I had a sore muscle. If I had a sore thigh, what would I do? I'd probably heat it, and then I'd probably give it a little massage. Obviously, you've got to be super gentle because there's a lot of organs in the lower belly, but you can still massage into it and introduce a little bit of more movement, break up any tension. Good, and then when you're ready, take the hands off to the side. Fingertips to 10 and 2 at the tops of the mat. Elbows nice and high. Take an inhale, start to lift the chest. And lift as high as you want to. Use the support of the back body. Exhale, let it go, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Couple more. See if you're feeling anything. Notice any bubbles, any gargles, any moaning. Inhale. Any sort of like squelching noises. Last one. Let it go. Beautiful, guys. And release. You can take the hands back underneath the forehead. And take a moment here just to release. And this is a place you can always come back to, really, if you want to. But we're going to, from here, start to push into a Sphinx pose. So bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. Take a little moment here. You're probably feeling nice and supported by the blanket. Find some breath. I'm just taking it into side cobras. So from here, just roll onto your right side. You can use your left hand as a bit of support. Roll onto your right. And you can keep the feet stacked like a pencil. You can change the angle of this forearm as well. You can move the blanket out of your way. Or you can bend the legs. That's totally fine. And this might feel like a lot going down the side of the ribs into the side of the torso. But if you want a little bit more, you can come onto the hand. And then just really collapse on into it. So like this shoulder comes up by the ear, and you're just getting a nice passive stretch through the whole of the right side. And if it helps, you might want to bring your hand to the belly. You might want to feel into some breath. You can always close your eyes if you want to. Just find that space. And maybe it feels good, maybe it feels a little bit tight, but in like a good way or a bad way. Just see, notice. Keep breathing, 2 more breaths. And then slowly, with control, you can extend the legs if you decided to bend them. And then gently, gently, maybe come onto the forearm. Slowly roll onto your front. And then take the other side. Just 10 breaths on the left. So come onto the forearm. You can change the trajectory of the forearm. Knees can bend if you need a little extra support. And then feel free to come onto the hand. And then just drop into that shoulder joint. Kind of like hammocking the ribs. You're just really like hanging out here, really. Hardly even a stretch. Just kind of like just chilling. But it's really creating space. Maybe you bring the hand to the belly and you kind of feel the orientation of your organs. Like, I think the ones on the left are probably starting to move a little bit to the right so they can kind of facilitate this kind of stretch. Staying aware of what's going on inside, the movement, the breath, the diaphragm. Two more breaths. And then come all the way back onto your front. Take a breath here. And a breath out. And then slowly push your way back into a child's pose. This time we're going to take a narrow leg child's pose. And this is going to be our finishing posture for the practice. So you can take your blanket here again. Have the knees comfortable, maybe just hip width. They don't need to be touching. And then pop the blanket into the hip creases. And we're just trying to like drape ourselves over this. So you can always grab more support if you want. If you want it to be more firm, you can kind of fold it up. It's a little bit too much for me. I'm just gonna create that space. You're trying to drape your belly onto the blanket and kind of feeling that pressure in, that gentle massage, that support. And then relax yourself down. And this can just be a place you can finish. If there's any other places that we explored today in our practice that you want to spend 10 to 12 breaths in, if you didn't feel like you had enough time in those places, then please do come to those poses. But if you're ready to finish your practice now, slowly start to come out of this space. And take a comfortable seat. Maybe closing the eyes. And bring your hands back to the belly. See how it feels in this orientation, especially if you're feeling bloated. It always feels a bit gross to hold the belly in this place. But just lean into that grossness for the warmth of the palms on your belly and just send the belly some love, some support. It is working hard. It's trying its hardest for you. Sit with gratitude for your amazing body, for supporting you. I know it doesn't always do what you want it to do, and sometimes you are in discomfort. But keep that continued gratitude. that continued self-love and respect. So we'll finish our practice with a big breath in. Let it go. Thank you everyone for practicing with me today. I hope you feel a little bit better. I know for sure that my belly has been making some real weird noises, so I know that there's something going on. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know how you got on in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you got on. And if you're enjoying videos and you want more like this, then click subscribe to my channel and click the bell button to be notified when I'm bringing out new content. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.